Say hello to the EV6, Kia's all new, built from the ground up, fully electric SUV crossover, which you might kind of think of as the Hyundai Ioniq 5's sportier cousin, and claims to redefine the boundaries of electric mobility. Know what that means? I don't know, but it does look cool. It's got a way more muscular design than anything we've seen from Kia before. And one of those things is this massive clamshell hood. So normally this wing here stops about there, but on the bonnet of this, it goes all the way back, which adds to the aerodynamics. And something that's missing on this, because it's electric, so we don't need a grille, is the Kia Tiger Nose grille, which I don't really miss, to be honest, but you might. The wheels look massive, and especially with how high the arch comes, it's basically half the height of the car. On the Air, you got 19-inch alloys. On the GT line and the GT line S, you get 20-inch, and then when the GT comes along, 21 inches. Madness. New design on the wing mirrors. Curve in on the end, which I've never seen before. Indicators can be seen better, helps with aerodynamics and all that. Your door handles, you've got nice flush door handles that pop out when you approach the car, which do take a bit of getting used to, but feels a bit weird at first. It's all right though. Really nice thing though is the skirt down the bottom. That black line sweeps right down through your rear wheel, right around the back and all the tail lights, down the other side. This looks so big because it's actually got a longer wheelbase than normal. The reason for that is because there's a shorter overhang at the front because you don't need that space for the engine, which means you can put that space in the middle for extra battery. Inside the boot, power tailgate, rear camera, 490 litres of space altogether, and the access to it is massive because that hatchback starts so far up and it's just handy. You got your flaps on the side to fold your seats down, just total loads, extra space under there. That longer wheelbase we were talking about before makes it feel massive inside as well. Do you know what else makes it feel huge? That space there. Don't need a gearbox anymore, again, because it's electric. So you got all this extra space for bottles, for keeping stuff there. You got charging ports, and never noticed that actually. You've got a USB old school and a new USB-C. A lot of people are either sticking with traditional or going to the new one, and then you're kind of stuck if you don't have one or the other. Great idea. Feels dead spacious once you sat down inside as well. And all the new designs. We've got new design on the steering wheel, which looks kind of spacey and futuristic. Swapped a couple of buttons around. You've got your flappy paddles at the back, but this time they're for regenerative braking, and the I-pedal, which we'll talk about later, not gears, doesn't have any. And obviously the whole point of that is being an electric car, you are going to spend some time now and again waiting at a charging station. Not that long, and I'll tell you how long again in a little minute, but trying to bring those things of extra comfort in, maybe that's what they were talking about with redefining the boundaries of electric mobility. Rear seats, loads of little changes again. Air vents on the sides rather than in the middle, that's a little bit different. Heated seats, always a winner in the back. Lots of leg room, again, because we've got that longer wheelbase. Nice bit of headroom there as well. Something else you've noticed there? Another little USB-C in the seat rather than on the middle. A little bit different, but okay. And big thing for your rear passengers is this big flat floor, because again, it's an electric car, so we don't need a drive shaft going from the engine to the rear axle. So wherever you're sitting, loads of room. Right, let's talk engines. So, no engine, obviously, because it's electric. So instead of the engine, we got this, which some people call the front trunk, but we don't call it a trunk, so I'd rather call it a fruit. Got an extra 20 litres of space for your lunchbox, so that's all right. Every EV6 has got a 77.4 kilowatt hour battery. What does that mean? Well, it means you got up to 328 miles of range, depending on how much power you use. But how much power have you got? Well, the rear wheel drive has 168 kilowatts, which is about 226 horsepower. The all-wheel drive, 239 kilowatts, which is around 321 horsepower. And the all-wheel drive in the GT, coming out next year, is 430 kilowatts, which is about 577 horsepower. And that's more than a Ford Mustang Shelby GT350, which has only got around 525, so it's big. It's got an 800 volt charging system, which gives you up to 62 miles from just 4.5 minutes of charging at a 250 kilowatt charging station. You can go from 10 to 80% charge in 18 minutes, so you're not hanging around. And it does 0 to 62 miles an hour in 3.5 seconds with a top speed of 161 miles an hour. On the EV6, you've got 3 levels of regenerative braking with the paddles here at the back. Well, I guess 4 if you count off. But then beyond that, after that last level, you've got something called iPedal. And what that does, it's kind of hard to explain without experiencing it for yourself. As you put your foot down, it gets faster, obviously. And then as you take your foot off the accelerator, it gets slower, but without having to use the brake. And as you then get to the final point, it's completely off, it's stopped. And so it's kind of like say this is 10 mile an hour, this is 20, this is 30, and so on. That does take some getting used to. I'll tell you what is different though, how responsive it is. Putting your foot down, coming out of junctions, tight through turns, and part of that is, again, all of that's because it's electric, but the tightness through the corners, that comes back to that long wheelbase, again, that we talked about before. In between the wheels is your battery, and that is heavy, and that's right on the bottom of the car, which means you've got a really low center of gravity. One of my favorite things that I've found so far when you're actually driving is the heads-up display. Now, I've been in a lot of cars where I didn't really like the heads-up display because with how tall I am or where I put my seat or any combination of those things, I can't actually see it. It gets cut off, but in this, I can see everything. And the whole point of the heads-up display is that you don't need to take your eyes off the road to see things like your speed limits, where your cruise control's at, what speed you're doing. And an extra thing that you've got in this, which is awesome, is augmented reality navigation, AR navigation. And what that means is when you've got your sat nav on, you've got a destination on, and you've got a turn coming up, arrows come up basically on the road, or at least that's how it looks, telling you which way to go. And honestly, it just looks so cool. To find out more about the EV6, you can go to any of our Arnold Clark Kia branches, or just give them a call. You can do that from the links down in the description. Well, thanks for watching. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let me know down in the comments what you think of the EV6.